Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to this session for skill training for CMA intermediate students. And we are learning Microsoft Office. Currently, we are experiencing Microsoft Excel. So this is day number 7 of MS Office training. And in some of the previous sessions, we have already gone through many concepts. And now this is the time to take it further. So currently, let's see. In the last session, we were discussing about, vertical lookup and horizontal lookup. So let's continue to discuss that vertical lookup and horizontal lookup. And thereafter, we will see that what next we would like to discuss. Okay, so I will open that file again for you. So I'll quickly give you a recap that how do we use VLOOKUP and how do we use HLOOKUP. So suppose this is one table array. So it has 3 columns and it has 27 and I'm sorry, it has 9 rows. It has 3 columns and 9 rows are there. So in column number 1, you have roll number from roll number 1 to roll number 8. Then name of the student, some dummy name we have written over here, apple, book, cat, dog, elephant, fish, god, hen. And whether they have paid the fees for the course or they have not paid the fees. So this is a very simple small table array. In real life, you may have instead of 3 columns, you may have 30-40 columns. And instead of 9 rows, you may have 9,000 or 90,000 rows. So here, how do I use this VLOOKUP function? I type here roll number of the student, and by typing the roll number, I would like to see the name of the student. So what do I do in this case? I simply type VLOOKUP. When I say VLOOKUP, the first value it is asking lookup value. So which value do you want to look for? So I click this F2, whatever is written in F2, go and look up the value in the table array. So I type a comma and then it says me to choose a table array. So this is the table array. Now we have already given a name to this table array. Suppose we have not given any name to it. In that case, what will happen? We are quickly revising it because some of you might have forgot it. So I'll go to this formulas and then name manager and just a minute students and let me delete it. Okay. Okay. So again, I say VLOOKUP, lookup for roll number 1 in this table array, that is A2 to C10. In which column of this table array I would like to look for? I would like to look up. So I say I want to look up for name, which is column number 1 is roll number and column number 2 is name. So column number 2 is name. So I'll write here column number 2. And then for range lookup, I'll write false. That is, I want to match the roll number exactly and I don't want to match the roll number approximately. So I choose this to be false. I press enter and see it is not okay. I have made a typing mistake over here. For table array, I should have selected this. And see roll number 1 is apple. I say roll number 8 and it will say hen. And I say roll number 5 and it will show me elephant. Suppose I also want to check the fees payment by the student. So I'll again type that same formula. I'll say VLOOKUP and the lookup value is roll number, that is F2. Table array is same, this one. Column index number, this time I'll type column number 3 because I want to check the fees paid status of the student, which is in column number 3 of my table array. So I type column number 3. And for range lookup, I will always type false because I want to have the exact match. and I press enter. So for roll number 5, the fee status is actually fees paid. Suppose I want to look for rule number 6. So what is the name of role number 6? The name is fish, just imaginary name, and the fee status you can see is not paid. Okay. Now you can observe here that I have to give the reference every time A2 to C10. Here again I have to say A2 to C10. Rather than doing this, and there is one more disadvantage. Like if I want to copy down this formula and if I drag it down, if I drag down the formula, there will be this type of problem that it will show that it cannot found any relevant value for this. Because when I copy down the formula, instead of F2, now it is looking for the value of F3. So to get rid of that problem, what I need to do is at F2, I'll press F4 2 times. Or I will simply press F4 1 time, and this F2 will become constant. So that when I copy it down, F2 actually remains F2. Okay, then for table array also I can do the same thing. F4 for A2 and F4 for C10. So that when I copy it down, it remains the same. Now let's try to drag this formula down. When I drag this formula down, it is again showing me fish because I don't want to look for column number 2. I want to look up in column number 3. So instead of column 2, I'll say look up in column number 3. And then this will show not paid. One way to make this situation easy is to give this table array a name. Select this table array, and in the top left corner, you will find the name box. In the name box, you will have to write something like this, students, or you can simply write table 1 underscore 1. Name I have kept as table underscore 1. So now when I apply Vlookup function here, and then I say lookup value is this, and I make it constant F2. And then the table array, for table array, I type table underscore 1. So I need not to give the reference of A2 to C10. Column index number is 2, and this is false. So when I copy it down, the formula will not show any error. After copying down, I'll simply change the column index number from 2 to 3. See, if I put it here equal to, okay, let me give you a unique situation now. Suppose I type here roll number 1. So name is Apple and fees is paid. What if I repeat roll number 1 over here? What if in place of roll number 4, suppose roll number 1 is repeated due to any reason? Maybe there are 2 classrooms and the roll numbers are repeated. For classroom number 1, roll number are 1 to 50, and for classroom number 2, again roll numbers are 1 to 50. And those 2 classroom data got merged. And suppose this roll number 1 is returned again. Now you can see when I search for roll number 1 in the table array, it will start looking up from top to bottom. And you can see that this roll number 1 Apple, it has selected, but roll number 1 dog, it has not selected. Let's do something else for this. Let's say this roll number 4 is dog, and again roll number 4 is hen. And I select roll number 4 and see it is selecting dog. Suppose this is also roll number 4, Apple. Apple is also roll number 4. So now it is selecting Apple. So if a roll number is repeated, if the lookup value is repeated, then it searches from the top to the bottom and it will give you the result of the first lookup value. Okay. All right, let's do one more thing. Suppose the roll numbers are like this: 1, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Okay. In fact, I will say this one is 19. I'm sorry, this one is 19 and this is roll number 1. Now you see, when I look up for roll number 1, it is giving me the exact value, that his name is Hen and the fee status is not paid. What if instead of saying the range lookup to be false, I say that range lookup, let's put it equal to true. And here also, let's say this is. Now the problem is it is showing an error now because true means you are trying to search for the approximate value and now that's a real problem. Suppose suppose this is roll number 2 and suppose here I search for roll number 2. Still the problem persists. Or if I say here this is roll number 5 and I'm searching for roll number 5. So this kind of error you will actually face. For all practical purposes, being a commerce student, you won't have to use this to be true. You will always have to use this to be false. This is what vertical lookup is. Now let's talk about horizontal lookup. When do I use HLOOKUP? See, currently I am looking in a column. If I start looking up in a row, then it will become HLOOKUP. Suppose my data is not arranged in column format. Suppose my data is arranged in the row format. I'm sorry. Just a minute. Say my data is arranged like this. Roll number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Name is apple, hen, apple, book, cat, dog, elephant, fish, god, hen. And this is the fee status. And now I want to search that if the roll number is this. If this is the roll number, then what is the name of the student? Suppose roll number is 3 and I want to look up for name of the student. Now I want Excel to search in the row, not in the column. So simply this VLOOKUP will become HLOOKUP. Nothing special. HLOOKUP. Lookup value is roll number 3, which is in C16. Table array is this one. This is the table array. Now index. Now it is not asking for column index. Now it is asking for row index. So first row is roll number and second row is name. So I'll say second row and I'll again say false. And I'll press enter and I'll find that for roll number 3 name is cat. This is VLOOKUP and HLOOKUP. Okay, now let's quickly solve your doubts and then we'll proceed further. Sushant is asking, will you tell us about templates today? Sushant, it has already been taught in the last lecture. You can watch it on YouTube. If you have joined late, anybody, Naveen Sinha, then on YouTube, every single thing is available. YouTube channel of ICMAI. Being ICMAI student, I'm sure you must be having the address of YouTube channel. A personal question is there. I'll skip it now. So if I have a preloaded contained with dollar currency symbol, then how to convert all in rupee currency symbol at once rather than changing the single figure at a time, especially in case of the preloaded templates. Sushant, this is really very simple. Now, you are not asking me something related to VLOOKUP or HLOOKUP. You are asking a general question. If this is due to the currency format, suppose I have numbers like this, 1000, 2000, and so on. Okay, I have numbers like this, and suppose somebody has put a dollar sign over here. Let me check. Dollar. Whatever. Let's say Chinese yuan. Somebody has put a Chinese yuan sign, and I want to remove this Chinese yuan sign. Now there are two things. Is it typed manually, this currency symbol, or has it been typed through the currency formatting, number formatting, cell formatting? If this yuan sign is due to the formatting, it's very simple. Just select all the cells, press Ctrl+1, a formatting window will open. And here in currency, instead of Chinese yuan, you can select Indian rupee, or you can say select none, or you can select the number format, and in number format, the dollar sign, yuan sign, pound sign, whatever sign it is, it will automatically go away. But if the symbol has been typed manually like this, has been typed manually like a text, something like this. Okay. Now you want to remove this symbol from all of the text. Then simply you will have to use the find and replace function. Like Control F you do, and while you do Control F, you will see this dialog box of find and replace. Go to find what? Find the dollar sign. Okay, let me zoom it for you. Control F and then find what? Dollar sign. And replace it with what? Nothing, blank. And then you type replace all. So all the dollar signs will go away. Replace with blank, nothing. I'll say replace all. And see, all dollar signs, 7 replacements were made. 3 are here, and 4 symbols must have been there at some other place in this workbook. So rather than blindly saying replace all, you should always say find next. So it will find, and then you say, okay, this one I would like to replace, this one I would like to replace, this one I would like to replace. Now this is in the VLOOKUP table, and in the VLOOKUP table, VLOOKUP formula, we have used dollar for making the cell reference absolute. That I don't want to change, and that's why now I will close this window. Uday is asking what is the difference between HLOOKUP and VLOOKUP. Probably Uday, your question has been answered now. Sir, voice nahi aa rahi hai. Check your internet connection, because from my end it is perfect. If you want to highlight the not paid, how to do it? So now today you guys are asking me questions which are not related to VLOOKUP and HLOOKUP. You're asking me questions which are related to some of the previous lectures. So if you want to highlight not paid, then simply you can apply the conditional formatting either here or maybe here also. So suppose here you go, and probably you are repeating this question. Anyways, go to the home tab, go for conditional formatting, go for highlight cell rule, and then go for text that contains what? Not, simply not paid. So not paid is highlighted. You can't see my screen, then log out and log in again. Sir, is there any formula to project both the repeated values like roll number 4? No, there is no such formula. So can you teach how to shift from vertical table to horizontal table? That we will learn under paste spatial. Wait for that, I'll teach you. Horizontal कैसे किया टेबल को वो पढ़ाऊंगा बेटा मैं. Can you repeat HLOOKUP? It is exactly same as VLOOKUP. Just type HLOOKUP instead of VLOOKUP. Sir, in HLOOKUP, it is showing me error. So probably you must have typed something wrong, no? Sir, what if we type HLOOKUP C16, A12 to I14, 22 true? Why are you typing 22 true? What will happen? So Rohit, you type it yourself and you will come to know that this true thing creates a lot of problem. So actually when you are matching, when you are looking up for text, like names you are looking up, in that particular case, sometimes, some spelling error may be there and probably this true thing will work there. Okay, let me do one thing. I will create one more example for you. Let me remove this conditional formatting rule first of all. It may unnecessarily create confusion for you. So conditional formatting, clear rules from entire sheet. Okay, let me give you a different example. Suppose I have a table like this. And if I type the name, I would like to know the roll number. So I will input the name and I will ask to show the roll number. So suppose I type name Apple and then I use Vlookup function. What is the lookup value? Lookup value is here in cell number H90. Which one is your table array? This one is my table array. What is your column index number? Roll number is in third column. So I would like to look up in the third column. Range lookup, suppose I type it to be true. So for text searching, this range lookup true, that is, I don't want exact match. Even if the approximate match is there, I'm okay with that. Like suppose let's do an experiment. Apple Kashmir. But even when I put it to be true, it is not actually working properly. So avoid this using true and always try to use false. Sometimes, for decimal values, it works fine. Just a minute. This is my lookup value. This is the table array. Column index is 3. It is still showing some error. So let's try to not to give the cell reference. And suppose I try here Apple. And then see what happens. Something has gone wrong, Okay, I'll show you that later. Let me check what are the other doubts over here. Sir, if we write paid in fees, can I find all roll number? See, for that you should use filter. And probably I have already taught you about the filter. how to change vertical table into horizontal, that I will teach you. Can you repeat the process where I want to drag the cell of VLOOKUP, but it will not show the NA, means where I have to put the dollar sign. See, you have to put a dollar sign with the lookup value as well as for the table array. Then it will not show you the NA error. Okay. Will you provide us question bank? Rahul, probably you are new to this course. ICMA has already provided you with that. Okay, now many irrelevant questions have been typed, so probably I'll have to skip all. So let's talk something more sensible now. Many irrelevant questions have already been asked over here, and I'll literally have to avoid all of those questions so that we can study something fruitful, something relevant. In the last session also, we use one big data set like this. That suppose I have the student's master data. I'll repeat it now because now you are comfortable. This is my student's master data where roll numbers are given for each of the student. Mobile number of the student is given, his father's mobile number, name of the student, email ID of the student, and fees paid status of the student is given in this table array. And suppose I assign a name to this table array, and the name assigned to this table array is master data. Name assigned to this table array is master data. And this is the master data. And now I'm trying to type a list of test result. When the test was conducted, every single student was instructed not to put their name on the copy, just to put their roll number. So checkers actually checked those copies, and roll number 115 got 24 marks. And so on. We can arrange roll number also from smallest to largest. Roll number 1 got 20 marks, roll number 2 got 21 marks, roll number 6 got 16 marks. So what about roll number 3, 4 and 5? Probably they have not appeared in the test, hence their name is not appearing here. But now I would like to, I want to paste this result sheet on the notice board of the school. So I want here name of the student, as well as suppose I want to have his mobile number. Suppose I want to have mobile number also. So how do I use the Vlookup function now? I simply type Vlookup. What is my lookup value? Roll number 1. But now you see, I'm not going to type this formula hundreds of times. So as far as this, as far as this A3 is concerned, I would like to, kind of fix this value, because when I copy it down, A3, when I copy this down, A3 should become A4. But when I copy it right, A3 should not become B3. So if I want to put a dollar sign here, I would like to have the dollar sign like this. I would put a dollar sign on column number, so that when I copy $A3, when I copy it down, A3 should become A4. But when I copy it to the right side, A3 should not become B3. A3 should remain A3. Then the table array. So I will not give the, I won't have to go to the other sheet and give the reference for it. I can simply type here the table array name, and the table array name is master data. So that's the beauty. Now I won't have to go to the other sheet or to the other workbook and pick up the range of the table array. No, not at all. I'll simply put the name of the table array, which is master data, because I have already assigned a name to that range of the data. Now column index number. As far as column index number is concerned, let's say the column index number is 2. Later we will check it. Probably column index number 2 was the mobile number. And for range lookup, I will say false. And now I press enter. Okay, yes, I have the mobile number. Okay, but I wanted to have the name. I'm really sorry. So name is in column number 4 and mobile number is in column number 2. Name is in column number 4. So I'll say here this is column number 4. And when I copy this formula to the right side, see, I'll simply do Control C and enter here. See, it is not showing me error now, but the name is repeated. I want mobile number. So instead of column 4, I will say column number 2 and the mobile number will be displayed. Now I'll select these two cells and at the bottom right corner of this selection, at the bottom right corner of this selection, when I put the cursor, white cursor will become black and then I will double click it. As soon as I double click it, this VLOOKUP formula is copied down. So now I have a complete result, roll number of the student, marks obtained by the student, name of the student, and mobile number of the student. This is how I can use the VLOOKUP function on a big data set also. So first we did it with the small data set because some of you were getting confused, and now we did it with the big data set also. Now suppose the situation is like this. Let's again come to the small data set so that you remain comfortable. Let's come here. Allow me to create one example, please. In all previous examples, the lookup value was in column number 1. In HLOOKUP, the lookup value was in row number 1 of the table array. Now this is the limitation of VLOOKUP or HLOOKUP function, that the lookup value must be in first column or in the first row. So in this table array, first column is roll number. So lookup value can be roll number, lookup value cannot be name, lookup value cannot be fee status. Similarly, in horizontal table array, the first row is for roll number. So lookup value can be roll number, it cannot be name. What if the situation is I want to look up for name and then write corresponding roll number? There is no such ready-made function in Excel where your lookup value can be in second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth or 10th column. If you are using VLOOKUP or HLOOKUP function, especially if you are using VLOOKUP function, let's talk about VLOOKUP. If you are using VLOOKUP function, your lookup value must be in column number 1. Otherwise, you will have to rearrange your columns. Like in this example, if roll number is given, VLOOKUP can give you mobile number, father mobile number, name, email ID or fee status. But if name is given and according to name you want to search for roll number, or according to name you want to search for email ID, VLOOKUP function will not work properly. If name is given and you want to search for roll number, VLOOKUP function will actually fail over here. In that particular case, we can use a combination of index function and match function. We can use a combination of index function and match function. And then the lookup value may be in any of the columns. So first of all, let's try to learn what is index function. So index function is asking you to input 3 things. Number 1, it is asking you to input the table array. Number 2, you will have to input row number. And number 3, you will have to input column number. Table array, row number, column number. So suppose I say this is the table array. Okay. Then row number. Suppose my row number is 4. Row number 4. And suppose my column number is 2, row number 1, 2, 3, 4, and column number 1, 2. And I press enter. So look here, row number 4, it is also including the title row, because if you are including the title row, it will count title row also. In row number 4, this is your row number 4. This one is your row number 4. And in this row number 4, column number 2 is for the name. So what is index function? If you give it a table array, if you specify a row number, and if you specify a column number, it will give you the value returned in that row number and column number. Suppose I say don't look in column number, row number 4, go to row number 5. Then instead of cat, it will give you dog. It is dog. I say go to column number 2. Column number 2, it will give you apple. If I say as row number 2, I'm sorry. If I say row number 1, then it will show you name. So what is index function? Basically, it gives you content of a cell, which is part of a table array, if you specify the row number and column number. Okay, forget about Excel. And now you tell me something. Okay. Without using Excel, if I tell you in this data set that look in row number 5. So this is row number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if my table array is this entire area from here till end, then row number 5 will be, this is row number 1, row number 2, row number 3, row number 4, and row number 5. In row number 5, column number 4. So this is column 1, 2, 3, and 4. So column 4 is Ritesh Agarwal. Row number 5, column number 4 is Ritesh Agarwal. This is what exactly index function is doing. Let's say this is row number 5, column number 2. This is the table array, row number 6, column number 2. Will give you elephant as a result. Okay, so this is the index function. What is match function? Let's try that. Match. It returns the relative position of an item in an array that matches a specified value in specified order. So first of all, it is asking for what is your lookup value. So my lookup value is elephant. I'm looking up for elephant. So in which table array you are looking up for elephant? In this table array, I'm looking up for elephant. Then how would you like to match it? Less than match or greater than match or exact? Let's talk about exact one, not the less than or not the greater than. Exact match. And let me type enter. Oh, this is not working. Question is, what has gone wrong? Say if I choose this type, again it's not working. What has gone wrong? Okay, let's check something else. Suppose my lookup value is row number 5. So actually what I have to do here is I'll have to type, suppose I type this title, name. It's again not working. So how do I use it then? Okay, but before we practice this match function, before we learn this match function, I just want you to create one table array quickly yourself and then try this index function. I'll wait for you for next 5 minutes and then we will learn about the match function. Okay, so I'm waiting for you for next 5 minutes and then we will learn match function. Just try your hand on index function. Practice it and in next 5 minutes we'll proceed further. Okay, I hope you did it and found it to be in order. So the next thing we would like to learn is the match function. So I say equal to match lookup value. So suppose my lookup value is dog. Lookup array. Now if I select this whole array, I'll get error as I was getting it earlier. I'll have to select either the column or the row. So look in this column B21 to B28 and suppose match type is exact. So I type here 0. So where is dog in this table array B21 to B28? It should be either a single column or it should be a single row. And I type enter and see it is giving me answer number 4. So first value is apple, second value is book, third value is cat, and fourth value is dog because this is the table array I have selected. And I'm saying lookup for dog and tell me it is at which position in the table array. So it was at position number 4. Suppose I want to look up for hen and I say hen. Now it is saying it is at the 8th position. So match function works for the column as well as for the row. Suppose I say match and then I say dog. And suppose my lookup array is this row where the dog is there. And then I say 0, that is the exact match. Where is dog in this table array? So it is in second column now. You will get answer as 2. See, the answer as 2. So index function and match function are reverse of each other. In the index function, if you give the row number and the column number, it will give you the content of the cell. In match function, if you give it the content of the cell, it will tell you the relative position in the column or relative position in the row, as the case may be. Now the question is, I want to use a lookup function where the lookup value is not in the first column, rather than the lookup value is in the second column. And then I want to look up for the roll number of that student whose name is there. So how can I draft it? Let's try. Let's do some trials and then errors, and then we will rectify it, and then we'll make the trial again. So let's say lookup value. My lookup value is suppose dog. And the result I want to see is roll number. Okay, so let's say let's use the index function. I'm sorry. Let me zoom it for you. If I use index index function, then it will ask me about the table array. That in which table array would you like to have? Would you like to have a look at this? So let's say my table array, just a minute. I'll have to zoom it out so that we can, just a minute. So I say index, which table array? So let's say this one. I'm avoiding the title row. Now, which row number and which column number? Oh my God. Now the difficult question is which row number? So to select the row number, I will use match function. See, I'll repeat it for you. Just a minute. I will repeat everything for you. The limitation of lookup function is that your lookup value must be in column number 1. That is if you know the roll number, you can search for the name. But what if you know the name and you want to search for roll number? One of the ways is that you cut this column from here and you paste it here, and then that way name will become your first column, and then you can use the Vlookup function. But without disturbing this table, if you want to look left, that if you know the name, then how to search for roll number, then Vlookup function will fail. Then we will have to use index function, where if you specify the row number and column number, it will give you content of the cell. So I say equal to index, table array is this, where I am searching for the roll number, but row number, I want the row number of dog. Oh, I'm sorry, table array was not this, table array was this. I want to look up the roll number for dog. So dog is in which row number? How do I know that? So now I will use match function inside the index function. Match. What is my lookup value? My lookup value is click dog. It is in C30. Comma. Lookup array. So lookup array should be this single column, because we have seen that match function works either with a single column or with a single row. It cannot work with multiple columns or multiple rows. And match type is, let's say, 0. So now this match function will search and it will tell you the row number 1, 2, 3, 4. And index function wanted to know the roll number. And now you know the row number. Row number will be 4 automatically. Comma, column number. So I want to look up the corresponding value in column number 1 because roll number is in column number 1. And I press enter and see here, I found the roll number for dog, which is roll number 4. No, sir, I want it for God. So for God, roll number is 7. I want the roll number of hen. So roll number is 8. I want roll number of apple. Roll number is 1. I want roll number for apple, where there is a spelling error. There is a problem. No, sir, can you please repeat it for me? Yes, definitely I'll repeat it for you. Index function is if you specify row number and column number, it will give you cell content. And match function is if you give it the content, it will give you the row number or the column number. So what do I do? First of all, I use index function. And then I say this is my table array, suppose ignoring the title row. And row number where apple is returned. I don't know the row number where apple is returned. So here I will use the match function. And inside the match function, I'll say search for apple. And in this column, you will find apple. I'll have to specify. And match type is 0. That is the exact match. Now this will search and say this is at the first position. So row number will become 1. Okay, I found row number 1. But what are you looking for in row number 1? I'm looking for roll number, which is given in column number 1. So I'll say column number 1. I don't want roll number. I want fee status. Instead of column number 1, I will say column number 3. So now fee status is paid. Sir, I want name. So name is already there. Column number 2, apple. But that doesn't make any sense. Column number 1. So use index function and match function nested inside the index function, and then your lookup value need not to be in first column, which is the limitation of Vlookup and Hlookup. So combination of index and match works much better than this one. I have already shared this master data with you, isn't it? So you already have a file which I have shared with you. Here the roll number and everything is there. Let's try our hands on this one. That if father mobile number is known, I want to know the name of the student. Now father mobile number is not in column number 1, so Vlookup will not work here. I'll have to use index function and match function. I'll have to use index function and match function. So this is, if this is the father mobile number, what is name of the student? If this is father mobile number, what is name of the student? Here I cannot use Vlookup function, not name of the student. In fact, I want to search for roll number. Father mobile number is known. How can I search for roll number? So Vlookup only looks at the right side of the table array, not at the left side. So I'll use combination of index function and match function. What do? I'll say index, and then it will ask me for the table array. So table array is actually master data. Array is master data. Then it is asking me to input the row number in which this father mobile number is there. Now to count the row number, I'll use match function. Match function is asking me lookup value. I'll say this is the lookup value. Then it is asking me the lookup array. So lookup array should start from here, okay? Because your table array was including the title row, so your match function should also include the title row. So this is the thing. Now 0 is my exact value. Just 0. Then I put a comma. Look here at the top. Now column number. in which roll number of the student is there, that column number is actually just a minute. Column number is 1. See, if roll number is 9179, this was the roll number 9179. So the roll number is 202. If father mobile number is this, roll number is 202. No, sir, can you please explain it again? Yes, I will explain it to you again. This data is with you also. You can also do the experiment. See, what do I do here? I use index function. I say look for, look in the master data, the whole table array. Now, the next thing it asks is in which row number I have to look. I don't know this father mobile number is in which row. So to identify row number, I use match function. In match function, it is asking me lookup value. So I say it is in G3. Then the next thing it asks me is the table array. So I choose the table array of, I choose the column of father mobile number. Then 0 is permanent, exact match I want. Then I close this match function. So this is the table array. This match function will give you the row number. And now you specify the column number. You want roll number now. Roll number is in column number 1. So you type number 1. If you don't want roll number, rather than suppose you want email ID. So email ID is 1, 2, 3, 4. Email ID is in column number 4. So rather than column number 1, you type column number 4. And not 4. In fact, I'm sorry. It is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Email ID is in column number 5. So this is the email ID. What is the name of the student if this is the father mobile number? So I will say column 4. If this is the father mobile number, name of the student is Shruti Agarwal. So you just change the column number and you will get the, what is the student mobile number if this is the father mobile number? So go for column number 2 and you will get the student mobile number. Okay. This is index and match function. Let's quickly solve your doubts also. So why we type 1 or 2 in the HLOOKUP instead of the row number? See, in HLOOKUP, you type for the lookup value and lookup value must be from row number 1. If in row number 1 roll numbers are there, I will have to specify roll number. And roll number was 1, 2, 3, 4 and so on. Okay. If I should take roll number through name, then how to work VLOOKUP? Probably Roshan, now your question is answered. Kiran is asking, sir, can you please say where can we find question bank? I don't have any idea. You'll have to ask the CMA team. Sir, VLOOKUP for the database you had showed in example will take higher memory. No, don't bother about the memory. You know, this entire Excel file on which I am currently working with the whole lot of data is just 36 kilobytes. And my laptop has a RAM, random access memory, only RAM of 16 GB. And this file is just 36 KB. Don't bother about the size of the data. You know, pictures and videos, they consume a whole lot of data. But if you're talking about this simple plain data, don't bother about it. I have a better computer. How to use both HLOOKUP and VLOOKUP for the same finding? Subhashis, that will not make any sense. Can you please help me out where I will get question bank? I don't have that. Even if this question is asked 1000 times, answer will remain same. Attendance, no idea. Difference between index function and VLOOKUP function, probably now you know it. In lookup function, your lookup value must be in first column, while in index and match function, it may be in any column. Screen it's not visible, it is your problem. Check at your end. Sir, instead of match function, can we use filter also? Jayashree, if you are using filter, then you will have to manually look for the value. So we don't want that because you want to look for thousands of value. So if you are using the filter, if you are using filter and every month there are 10 test results which are declared and in every test result 1000 student appear, then 4000 times you will have to use filter. While if you apply the formula once, it will be as quick as like this. Himanshu is saying the simplest way of searching something is to convert the whole thing in PDF format. Absolutely rubbish this is. First you convert it into, you are not understanding the situation. First you convert it into PDF and then search it. And what will you do with the search result? What if you have to do it for 4000 students? Will you do it manually each time? You want a function. Probably you are not paying attention what I'm saying. Say you have to declare a test result and you just have roll number and marks. So at one single click, even result for 50,000 student can be prepared at one single click. First I convert it into PDF and then I do this. So whatever can be done in 2 seconds, you are trying to do it in 10 hours. Okay. Where is study material? Ask ICMA. I think some students are, I should not say that, but some are really dumb. Because in last 25 hours, I have repeated it 1000 times. Don't ask me administrative doubts. What is area number? No, you are using the wrong index function. There are two index functions. So don't choose the second index function. Choose the first index function. Second one is not for you. First you learn this one, then later someday we can talk about the second one also. Okay. So this is all about your Vlookup function, HLOOKUP function, and what should I say, index function, match function, and the combination of index function and match function. Okay, let's see what other things we would like to cover here. We have already studied AND function, OR function, NOT function, and nested if function. Sum if, average if, count if, way back we have learned that. Vlookup and HLOOKUP we have already done. Now in today function, now we'll give you the time and today we'll give you today's date. We have already discussed. Serializing the number by using date and time function, we already know that. Perform what if analysis by using goal seek and scenario manager. Now this is going to be very interesting. This is going to be something new. What if analysis by using goal seek and scenario manager. Especially the goal seek function is going to be very interesting. Okay, so let's talk about the goal seek function. Goal seek feature of Excel. So let's create one example. Many of you might have studied financial management, and I taught you one financial function that how to calculate net present value. So let me repeat that example for you. Suppose there is a capital budgeting project and in 0 year there is outflow of 1 lakh rupees. In first year inflow is 30,000. Second year inflow is 20,000. Third year inflow is 10,000, or maybe it is 70,000. And next year it is 25,000. And you want to calculate net present value for this project. You want to calculate net present value for this project. So either you can use PV function or you can use Npv function. I have already taught you the two. Let me quickly revise it for you. Suppose I use PV function and suppose the discounting rate or weighted average cost of capital or desired rate of return is 10%. How do I use PV function? I say equal to PV bracket open. Discounting rate is 10%. Number of period is 0 years, so I give the cell reference. I would like to skip because that is for annuity. This is not an annuity. Future value, first I put a minus sign. And then I select this 1 lakh, bracket close. Repeat it for you. Let me first do the number formatting. I'll say that number formatting is up to 0 decimal points with 1,000 separator. Let's do it again. Equal to PV bracket open. Rate is 10%. Number of period is 0. PMT I would like to skip because that is for annuity. So I type 2 commas. Then I put a minus sign intentionally because PV function actually changes the sign from minus to plus, plus to minus. To avoid that, I put here a minus sign. And then I press enter. And then, there is one interesting way of copying down any content. Say I select this 1 lakh and the 4 cells below this 1 lakh and I hit Control D. Control D is copy down, Suppose, I type 2000 here and I select this and I do Control D. It will be copied down. And suppose I select this and 2 cells to the right and I type Control R. So it copy the content of the cell to the right side. Control R copies the content of the cell towards the right side and Control D copies the content of the cell towards the downside. So I want to copy down this formula. So I'll do Control D. This is present value of all cash flows. Then alter equal to will give me a sum total of all present values. And now you can see here that NPV is 13,469. Let's make some changes to this question. Let's put it equal to 15,000 or even 10,000, I will say. So I've changed it to 30, 20, 70 and 10,000. NPV is positive and this is 3224. Okay. So NPV is positive. Now you tell me if NPV is positive, should I accept this business proposal or should I reject it? Should I accept this business proposal or should I reject it? Okay, probably. Exactly. I'll accept this business proposal because NPV is positive. Okay, I want to calculate IRR for this project. So one thing is sure that IRR for this project must be more than 10%. So why are you saying that it must be more than 10%? See, if NPV is positive 3,224, what does it mean? you are able to recover your desired rate of return at the rate of 10%, as well as you are getting surplus of 3224. It means you are getting something more than 10%. So if I want to calculate IRR of this project, calculating IRR manually is a lengthy job, but in Excel, it works very fine. How? You simply type equal to IRR bracket open and select this range of cash flows from year 0 till the last year. Equal to IRR and then select the cash flow from 0 to last year and press enter. And you will find the answer equal to 11.48%. See, I told you that IRR must be more than 10%. Now, if I take the decision as per IRR, still I will say accept the proposal, because in capital budgeting you study that if IRR is more than cost of capital, if IRR is equal to or more than cost of capital, you can actually accept the proposal. NPV is positive, accept the proposal. IRR is more than cost of capital, accept the proposal. Now some of you will say, sir, I am getting just 11%, not 11.48%. So you just increase decimal point. Currently your cell formatting is up to 2 decimal point, up to 0 decimal point. That's why probably you are seeing 11%. If you increase it up to 2 decimal point, you will see 11.48%. Now I'll tell you one more way of calculating NPV. Sir, what is that one more way of calculating NPV? The one more way of calculating NPV is to use the ready-made Npv function. Say equal to Npv bracket open, equal to Npv bracket open, and be careful to, sorry, first of all, you'll have to input rate is 10%, then put a comma, and then select this range of cash flows. Be careful when you use IRR function, the first cell you select is considered to be 0 year. While in NPV, the first cell you select is considered to be first year. So if I press enter, I will not get the same answer. If I press enter, I'll not get 3,224. I'll get 1,03,224. What does it mean? That as a student of commerce, NPV means present value of inflows minus present value of outflows. So NPV should consider 0 years cash flow also. But Excel is programmed in a manner that under NPV, it does not consider 0 year. In Npv function, the first cell you select is considered to be first year by Excel. So, sir, this formula does not consider 0 years cash flow. Yes, it doesn't consider 0 years cash flow. So how do I consider it? Simply, you add 0 years cash flow separately. Minus sign is already there, so you don't deduct it. Simply you add 0 years cash flow separately and then you press enter. Format it in the number formatting also, like this. Just a minute. See, now Npv function is also giving same answer as the PV function was giving you. But the limitation is Npv function does not consider 0 year. 0 year you will have to consider separately. IRR function works only if you consider 0 year also. And be careful, if you don't put a minus sign here, your IRR function will give you an error. Number error. IRR function works only if there are some inflows and some outflows. So this was one way. I have told you 2 ways of calculating NPV. One is using PV function, another one is using Npv function. Now I'll tell you one more way of calculating IRR. Now I will tell you one more way of calculating IRR. What is that one more way? Look, suppose you know that IRR is the discounting rate at which present value of inflows is equal to present value of outflows, that is NPV is equal to 0. Suppose you don't want to use the inbuilt function of Excel to calculate IRR. You can use goal seek function also to calculate IRR. You know, I'm not saying that you calculate IRR using goal seek. I'm showing you what is goal seek through the example of IRR. You know that IRR is the discounting rate at which NPV is 0, right? So let's do one thing. Let's calculate NPV using this 0% discounting rate. So I say equal to NPV bracket open, and at the place of discounting rate, I'll give this cell reference. I won't type here the discounting rate. I'll give the cell reference E13, and then I'll select year 1 to year 4. Then I'll close the bracket. Then I will add 0 years cash flow separately. So now I am calculating NPV using 0% as the discounting rate. I'm calculating NPV using 0% as the discounting rate. Just a minute. I want it in number format, 1000 separator. If I calculate NPV using 0% as a discounting rate, NPV appears to be very high, 30,000 rupees. No. I want a discounting rate where NPV becomes 0. So I increase the discounting rate to 5%. Now NPV reduces from 30,000 to 15,000. I don't want 15,000 NPV. I want 0 NPV. So I increase the rate further to 10%. When I increase the rate to 10%, NPV reduces to 3224, but still it doesn't become 0. So I further increases the rate to 15%. If I increase the rate to 15%, NPV reduces drastically and it becomes negative. I don't want negative NPV. I want 0 NPV. That rate will be IRR. So then I reduce the rate, say, to 12%. Even at 12%, NPV is 0. NPV is not 0, it is negative. I want a rate where NPV is 0. So I try 11.6%. Just a minute. Up to 2 decimal points, I'll show it to you. At 11.6% also NPV is negative. So I try 11.50%. Here also NPV is negative. I want to make NPV to be 0. I'm doing trial and error. 11.40. Oh, at 11.40 NPV becomes positive. So I try 11.48%. It is roughly 0. Let's do 11.481% or 482% or 4815%. So at 11.4815%, if I show it up to 4 decimal points, at 11.4815%, NPV becomes 0. This is trial and error. I keep on trying rates to make NPV 0. Now I'll repeat. Now let's not do this process manually. Let the Excel do trial and error. Let the Excel seek the goal that what should be the rate to make this NPV equal to 0. Look, in the Home tab, I'm sorry. In the data tab, I'll zoom it for you. This is the data tab. In data tab, you will find forecast group. In data tab, you will find forecast group. In forecast group, you will find what if analysis. In what if analysis, you will find goal seek. Find the right input for the value you want. So I just click at goal seek. And this dialog box opens. Now this dialog box is asking me which cell would you like to set? I would like to set this cell, which is F14. And I would like to set it equal to 0. I want to make NPV to be 0. I would like to set this cell to be equal to 0 by changing which cell? By changing this 2% rate. So keep on changing this 2% rate till we achieve F14 cell equal to 0. And then I say OK. And OK. And see, I got this answer. This is called goal seek. But sir, IRR could easily be found through this IRR function. Then why are you like Himanshu? Let's first convert it into PDF and then search in the PDF. So take the long route. Sir, why are we using this IRR function? Why don't we use IRR function? Why are we using goal seek? See, the purpose is to show you the implementation of goal seek. Suppose I want a discounting rate where NPV is 2000 rupees positive. I want a discounting rate where NPV is 2000 rupees positive. Now the goal seek function is the only way to work it out. IRR function will fail over here. So I again go to what if analysis, goal seek, and I say set F14 equal to 2000. Discount these cash flows at such a rate so that NPV becomes 2000, and I say OK. And see the answer. If the discounting rate is 10.5537%, then NPV will become 2000 rupees. So this is one of the ways to apply goal seek function. There are many situations in which goal seek function can be very well used. Okay, let me check. Have you asked any doubts? Sir, for copying data, there was Control C initially. Oh my God. See, Control C, Control V is the most basic thing. If you type anything here, Tarun, then you do Control C and you go to the desired cell and then you do Control V. This is the basic thing, my dear. I'm saying if you select this and you do Control R, it will be copied towards the right in all selected cells. And if you select all these cells and do Control D, this will copy it down. This is what I'm saying. Control C, Control V still works very good, but I'm telling you the alternative way of doing it. Okay. So what is IRR and PV? For that, you will have to study CMA Intermediate, Financial Management. There you will know what is IRR and PV. See, in examination, Excel sheet is not available. That's why you do the hard work of calculating IRR. Somebody is asking, why do we do the hard work when Excel can do it easily? So your examination doesn't happen on Excel, na? That's why you do it, my dear. So can we use goal seek to find a simple interest and compound interest? Yes. Any reverse calculation you want to do, you can do it using the goal seek function. Okay, you want me to explain goal seek function without using financial management? We can do that. We can take a very simple example. Cost accounting, I hope you know it. Suppose sales is 1 lakh rupees. And variable cost is suppose 60% of sales. Okay. So variable cost is 60% of sales. And then suppose fixed cost is 20,000 rupees. Okay. And then I want to calculate the break-even point. And if I calculate break-even point, so first of all, I'll have to calculate PV ratio. PV ratio is what? Before that, I'll have to calculate contribution. Let me just do one thing. I'm giving you a non-financial example, a costing example. Contribution. Now this contribution is sales minus variable cost. So PV ratio is 40,000 divided by 1 lakh. So that is actually 40%. And then suppose fixed cost is 10,000 rupees. I calculate break-even point and say break-even point will be fixed cost divided by PV ratio. So break-even point here is 25,000 rupees. Now this variable cost is actually 60% of sales, right? So that's why I do sales multiplied by variable cost ratio. And then I calculate contribution, PV ratio, fixed cost, and BP. So how do I calculate variable cost? It is 60% of sales. Now currently, break-even point is 25,000 rupees. How should I change variable cost ratio so that this break-even point increases to 30,000 rupees? So let's use the goal seek function. I go to what if goal seek. Set E21 value equal to 30,000 by changing which cell? By changing this variable cost ratio. And I say OK. And see, here is the answer. If variable cost ratio increases to 66.6666%, if variable cost ratio increases to 66.6666%, then my BEP will automatically increase to 30,000 rupees. Say, let's ask Excel again. Go to the data tab, and here in what if analysis, I do goal C. I say I want BP to be just 5,000 rupees. So I set value of BP equal to 5,000 rupees by changing by variable cost ratio, suppose. And then I say OK. So now you can see it is, let's reduce this. So now this is the unreliable answer because fixed cost is 10,000. How can the BEP be 5,000? So now Excel is giving you unreliable answer. If you ask unreliable question, Excel will give you unreliable answer. Let's again change this. Let's say I want BEP to be very high. I want BEP to be 90,000 rupees by changing just variable cost ratio and keeping all other things constant. If variable cost ratio is 89%, then BEP will become 90,000 rupees. So Kanishk Sati, I hope now you understand goal seek because now I have not used financial management. Gopinath is asking why do you put minus sign in the formula? Because you know the present value formula changes the sign from plus to minus and minus to plus. To offset that, I did it. So if time permits, can we do capital budgeting in later lectures? Sushant, what we did in the previous example itself was capital budgeting. So whether time permits or not permits, we have already done it. So explain once again calculation of NPV using PV that we have already studied in one of the earlier session. Please refer to that. Okay. All right then. So this was the goal seek function. Now there can be many interesting applications of goal seek function. How much should be the amount of sales to make NPV equal to 0? But some of you don't know what is financial management, so I cannot take more examples of financial management. But yes, this is how actually the goal seek function works. I can tell you, okay, let me check what is part of your syllabus. We'll stick to syllabus. Calculate data by using financial functions. We have already done this in one of the earlier sessions. PV function, NPV function, IRR function, PMT function, rate function, PPMT, IPMT. We have studied all these things already. Now, troubleshooting the formulas and trace the precedence and dependence. So let's first talk about trace the precedence and dependence. Like this BEP formula. This BEP formula is taking reference of PV ratio and fixed cost. PV ratio is taking reference of contribution and sales. Contribution is taking reference of sales and variable cost. Variable cost is taking reference of 89%. So there is a chain of reference. If I want to know that BEP formula is affected by what inputs, so I can check the precedence. Let's check precedence and dependence. So to do that, you simply go to the formula tab, and in the formula tab, you will find trace precedence and trace dependence and remove arrows. So I click on here at BEP, I click on trace precedence. So first of all, it is taking reference of two cells. So therefore you can see here two dots. This dot, it means it is using fixed cost to calculate BEP. And this dot, it means it is using PV ratio to calculate, what should I say, break-even point. Okay, now I put my cursor here that this fixed cost. Okay, first let's do one thing, remove arrows. So now this is gone. I click on fixed cost and click on trace precedent. Is the fixed cost dependent on some other cell? And Excel will say the trace precedence command require that the active cell contain a formula which includes a valid reference. This cell does not contain a formula. It contains an absolute number. It means it is not dependent on any item, and that's why you cannot trace precedence. Okay, PV ratio. I say trace precedence. So it is using two cell. One is contribution, other one is sales. I click on trace precedent again. So it is using variable cost also. I click on trace precedent again, and now it is using this 89% also. I click on remove arrow and everything is removed. See, I'll tell you one interesting thing. Like in this NPV, this is your NPV, right? And here I go to the data tab, formula tab, I'm sorry, and I say trace precedents. So now you can see that precedents are this range of cash flows, 30,000, 20,000, 70,000, 10,000, this range, which is enclosed by one rectangle, and this 1 lakh rupees. These are the precedents. Okay, let's remove these arrows. I'll go to this data formula tab and I'll remove arrows. Let's check for IRR. In IRR, if I say trace precedence, so this is the range of cash flows on which IRR is dependent. Say in this 2000 rupees, I say trace precedent. First, let me remove arrows and then say trace precedent. So this is dependent on these two cash flows, and then the third one is discounting rate. Okay, I remove arrows. This is a fantastic way to know that your cell is dependent on what item. So my active cell is again BEP amount 90,000. I say trace precedent and these two cells are marked 11.11% and 10,000. Again I click trace precedent and contribution and sales are also marked. Again I click on trace precedent, variable cost is also marked. Again I click on trace precedent, 89% is marked. Again I click on trace precedent and there is no more precedent. Now I can remove the arrow. Let's do the reverse thing. Variable cost ratio. I say trace dependent. So which cell is dependent on 89%? So this variable cost amount is dependent on variable cost ratio. I press trace dependent again. So I'm sorry, I'll do it. So what is dependent on variable cost? Contribution is dependent on variable cost. What is dependent on contribution? PV ratio is dependent on contribution. What is dependent on PV ratio? So BP is dependent on PV ratio. Further dependency? No further dependency. I can remove arrows. You know, there are calculator, I'm sorry, not calculator. If you just want to go to the reference cell, the shortcut key is Control and square bracket open. This is for precedent and Control and square bracket close is to search for so I make 90,000 as my active cell and then I press Control and square bracket open. As soon as I do it, it selects two cells, 11.11% and 10,000 because actually it is dependent on two items. PV ratio. Suppose PV ratio, I press this Control and square bracket open. It is again selecting two cells, 1 lakh rupees and 11,111. If I press Control square bracket open on 11,111, it will show me 1 lakh and 88,000. Vice versa, 89%. At 89%, if I press Control and bracket close, square bracket close, mind it, not the regular bracket close, it will show me variable cost. On variable cost, again, Control bracket close, 11,111. Again, Control bracket close 11.11. Again this. Suppose I open one more sheet and here I say BEP in units is equal to, I go to sheet number 1, BEP in amount and divided by 100 rupees selling price. So in other sheet, in a different sheet, I want to calculate BEP in terms of units. So I say take BEP in terms of amount and divide it by selling price. So BEP in terms of amount is given in sheet number 1, cell number E21 and divided by selling price of 100. Now suppose here I say trace the precedent and I say Control and square bracket open. See, it will automatically shift from sheet 2 to sheet 1. Control and square bracket open. See, it automatically shifts from sheet number 2 to sheet number 1 and then again and then again and then again and then again like this. If I trace dependent also, no? So dependent, and at 90,000, if I trace dependent, control and bracket close, it will move me to sheet number 2. Uh-oh. This doesn't work. Why? Okay, so in dependent, it doesn't go to the next sheet, but in precedent, it goes to the previous sheet. So that is the problem Excel is giving you. So guys, this was tracing the precedence and dependence. So next thing is monitor cells and formulas by using the watch window. What is watch window? Let me tell you. See, I start working on sheet number 2 and I just want to, I'm working in sheet number 1. I change the sale from 1 lakh to 2 lakh. I'm sorry. I changed this variable cost ratio from 89% to 70%. And I want to see that what is the effect on my BEP in terms of unit. But problem is that I'll have to again go to sheet number 2 and okay, it has become 333 unit. What if I make it 65%? See. If I make it 65%, then go to sheet number 2. Oh, it has become 285. What if I make it 60%? Then again go to sheet number 2. Oh, it has become 250 units. So again and again, I'll have to switch from one sheet to other sheet or from one corner of the sheet to the other corner of the sheet. That if I change one cell, what is the effect on the other cell? Here I can create a one watch window and then I won't have to again and again go to that cell and check what is the effect on that cell. So I come to sheet number 2 here and then I can set a watch window. How to set a watch window? Look here in the formulas tab near precedent and dependent. I'll go to watch window. Okay, I'll click on watch window. Watch window. So when I click on watch window, a dialog box opens. It says, what would you like to watch? So I would add a watch. This is like putting a CCTV camera. Camera 1, camera 2, camera 3, camera 4. Okay, add camera number 1. Add camera number 1. So where would you like to add CCTV camera number 1? So I would like to add CCTV camera number 1 here at 250. And I say add. Now I'll again zoom it for you. So I have added one CCTV camera where the workbook is day 07. Worksheet is sheet number 2. Is there any name for this range? No, there is no name. So I can, simply reduce the width of this column. And I don't even want to see the book name. What does it mean? While working on one book, you can put a CCTV camera on another book also. That's why it is showing you the book name also. I hide this book name also. And just I would like to keep an eye on this 250 number. Okay. Now I have added this watch and I come back to sheet number 1. And in sheet number 1, now just observe it closely. See, if I change the variable cost ratio to be 70%, this BP increases to 333 units. If I change it to 80%, BP increases to 500 units. If I reduce it to 60%, BP becomes 250. 50% BP 200. 40% BEP 166, 30% BEP 142, 20% BEP 125. So I won't have to go again and again to a different sheet or to a different workbook or to the other corner of this worksheet. And I can add a watch window. And it's not like I can put only one CCTV camera. I can put more than one watch also. Suppose I add here one more watch, and I say this BP amount also I would like to watch. Now I have two watch windows, two watch in one window. One is BP amount and the other one is BP units. So BP amount is 12,500 and BP units are 125. 40% if I make it. See, 166 unit and 16,667 rupees. 50% if I do it, 200 units and 2 lakh rupees. This is how you can add a watch window. This is very useful. Practically, I use it because when I do valuation in a single workbook, many worksheets are there. And whatever change I make, finally, I have to watch that how is it affecting finally the fair value of the share today. Whatever change I make, I want to visualize the effect on current fair value of the share. So I add a watch and it works perfectly thereafter. Okay, let me check. Have you asked any doubts? Can you repeat goal seek function for above example? So only one demand always from your side is repeat, repeat, repeat. Okay, I will quickly repeat, but other people will get bored if I keep on repeating this. Suppose I want to make BP equal to 50,000, then what should be the variable cost ratio? So I click on 20,000, to which I want to make 50,000. I go to data tab. In data tab, I'll go for whatever, then I'll go for goal C, and then I'll say, this 20,000, I want to make it equal to 50,000 by changing what? By changing the variable cost ratio, this 50%. And I say OK, and this is 80%. So Yash Sonwane, I hope now your doubt is solved. Sir, what is scenario manager? You try your hands on this and then ask me what is this. This is not we are going to discuss. I am leaving it to you. Sir, what will trace precedent show in that function where we use both match and index? Let's try this. That's a good question. Sometimes I get good questions also. Suppose this is the roll number. This is not roll number. This is the mobile number. And here I say go to the formula tab and trace a precedent. So see how many precedents are there. Number one, the father mobile number is the precedent. Number two, the roll number is precedent. So in the father mobile number, you look for this mobile number and then you search for a specific roll number. Not roll number. OK. So that roll number or mobile number, whatever you are searching. So this is how it will show you. Now here you can remove this arrow again. Go to the formula tab and remove arrows. So what if the cells use reference from another sheet or workbook? How will the trace precedent work? That I have already answered. But I am not, see, what if it is using other workbook? Suppose here in this workbook, I bring in one value from the other workbook. And the other workbook is this one. And here the BP is 50,000. So in our Vlookup workbook, a different file, I brought in BP from a different workbook. And here if I say trace the precedent and control and bracket, so it will shift to the other workbook. Whether it is other workbook or it is other worksheet, you can easily trace the precedent. From where we get the watch window. So watch window is in the formula tab. In formula tab, here you will find the watch window. Are the formulas in Google Sheets same as MS Excel? No, they are different, but still they are very similar. Please show how to calculate the variable cost in percentage in another cell. Variable cost we are not calculating. Variable cost we are giving manual input. That variable cost is 50%, then variable cost will be 50,000. If it is 80%, variable cost will be 80,000. So did not understand the watch window. It is very simple that you put a watch window, suppose here on BP units. You go to the data tab, formula tab, and then you add the watch window. And in the watch window, now whatever you want to watch. Suppose I make this 50%, then what is the effect on BP can be seen in this watch window, and I won't have to go to the other sheet. Please share formula for creating email ID in Excel. Abhishek, that's a secret. I don't share that. Some of you are asking for a break. It's 7 p.m. now, so we'll take a break for 15 minutes. So 7:15, we will resume the session. Okay, thank you. See you again. So here we go with our next concept. Jerry is saying did not understand goal C. Jerry, we have explored it a lot. First you try it at your home. This video will also be available on YouTube. You can watch it again and then you can practice it. And still if you don't get it, then you can ask me in next session. So is this the last lecture of Excel? I have not planned anything like that. In next 2 lectures, we'll try to understand Word and PowerPoint also. But maybe some element of Excel will also be there. So now the next thing we are going to learn is pivot table. First, let's talk about pivot table, how to create a pivot table, how to modify the field selection and everything we will learn. Now for pivot table, you need to have a bulk amount of data. If you just have a short list of the data, pivot table, won't give you a feel that how exactly does it work. So I have already shared with you one file containing data for pivot table. If you don't have that file, I will just do one thing for you. I'll put this file again somewhere and then maybe you can download it. Just give me one moment and I will put this for you somewhere and share the link with you. Okay. So I just post a link. In case you have not already received it in your mailbox, I have posted it. Just a minute. Oh, no. Copy this link, done. And make an announcement. If you are not on the Google group where I have posted this file, for your convenience, I am posting link of this file again for you. It is right in your chat box. You can click on this link, download this Excel file, and on this Excel file, then we will do the pivot table thing, pivot table analysis. Okay. Here I go now. So this is the sheet you might be having. Let's do one interesting thing with this sheet. This sheet has, you can see this workbook has 3 worksheets. One is the product worksheet. The second one is the location worksheet. And the third one is the sales worksheet. Now I wish that all of you do along with me. First of all, let's talk about the sales worksheet. In the sales worksheet, you can see that a transaction ID is given, that is TNI1. This transaction happened on, say this is the invoice number. Let's say invoice number 1. And this invoice was made on 1st of April 2017. And this invoice was made on location C346. Suppose we have stores all across the country, and at store number 346, this invoice was prepared. And the product which was sold has a product ID of PLF 307. and you sold 4 quantity of this product at a rate of rupees 10 per unit. Now, two things are written in code words, that is location and the product ID. Sir, what does C346? What is C346? So if you go to the location worksheet, you will find that C3346 means this invoice was made in the state of Madhya Pradesh, which belongs to Central India region. Now here we can use Vlookup function, and instead of location ID, we can have the name of the region and name of the state. Though Himanshu can do it with the PDF file also, but all other people create two more columns. One is region and one is state. Now you can see that in location column, the first column is location ID. So in the sales worksheet, if I want to search for region, what do? I'll say equal to Vlookup. Lookup value is C346, that is cell number C2. And when I copy it down, C2 should become C3. But if I copy it right, then C2 should not become D2. This is how I'll plan it. So let's first of all, let's do one thing. Let's come to the location sheet. Let's first try to use Vlookup, and after that we will use the pivot table, which is very interesting thing. So just come to cell A1 in your location sheet. Come to cell A1 in your location sheet. Press Ctrl Shift right arrow key so that the title of 3 columns is selected. And then press Ctrl Shift down arrow key. So this entire table array is selected. Now at the top left corner, you will find the name box. In the name box, you can write a name location. So now this table array is named as location. You won't have to come here and select it. You can simply type location as the table array name. Okay, now come to the product sheet, and again, when product ID is this is super chocolate, this subcategory is biscuit, category is packaged snacks, etc. All these things you will find here. So let's again do the same thing. Just a minute, please. So you select the product ID, Ctrl Shift right arrow key, Ctrl Shift down arrow key, come to the name box and write the name product. Okay, so this table array is named as product, and in location, this table array is named as location. Now I come back to the sales sheet. Here, I don't want just the location ID, but I want to have the name of the region and name of the state. So in the name of the region, I type equal to Vlookup. Lookup value is this C2. When I copy it down, C2 should become C3. But when I copy it right, C2 should not become D2. So I press F4, F4, F4 3 times. So this becomes $C2. Now even if I copy it right, C2 will remain C2. Then comma, and it is asking me to input table array. I won't go to that sheet and select the entire range. I will simply type location LOCA and tab key I will press. LOCA, as soon as I type LOCA, it will start showing me that yes, there is something already saved as location. So rather than typing entire thing, you can press the tab key. So entire thing will be typed, location. Then the column index number. Look, region was in column index number 3 In third column region was there, in second column state was there. So column index number is 3, range lookup is false, $C2 location 3 false, enter. This is central region. If I copy it right, to copy it right, I can simply drag it right. If I drag it right, it will be copied right. See, very simple. No error is there. Just I'll make one change, that instead of column index number 3, I type column index number 2. Instead of column index number 3, I'll type column index number 2. Because in column index 2, I'll find state. And I press enter. See here, this is central region and state is Madhya Pradesh. So this is the VLOOKUP formula and this is also the VLOOKUP formula. See, this is VLOOKUP. This is again VLOOKUP. I'll select this and I'll double click it. Central Madhya Pradesh, East Jharkhand, North Uttar Pradesh, West Maharashtra. And you know, 1500 such transactions are there. If you do it manually, if you try to apply a filter, if you convert it into PDF, this will not work as quickly as this is working here. Okay, now in the product sheet, you can see the product name is there, subcategory is there, category is there. So I would like to have all these things, product name, subcategory and category. I again come to the sales sheet and I say product name, category and category. Product name, subcategory and category. Again, I can use function. I'll say VLOOKUP. Lookup value is product ID. Lookup value is product ID. D2. But I'll put a $sign before D, not before 2. So F4, F4, F4. This is $D2. And table array is product. PRO D. And I'll press tab. Product. Column index number. So product name is in column number 2. I can recall product name was in column number 2. Range lookup is false. Spicy masala. This product which is sold is actually spicy masala. To copy it right, I'll select these 3 cells, I2, J2, K2, and I'll press Ctrl R. And now I'll edit the formula. Instead of column 2, I will say column 3. This is spicy masala, subcategory is chips. Spicy masala, chips. And the main category, column index number 4, 2, 3, 4. Packaged snacks, chips, masala, chips. Then I double click it. And it is copied for all 1500 invoices. Grown stronger, tabs, regular namak, yummy strawberry, 2-minute tomato, plain salted biscuit, Italiano red pasta I had. So now using VLOOKUP, I have 5 more columns multiplied by 1500 rows, 7500 new set of data is there. So many columns and so many rows are there. I'm giving you 5 minutes time. You also try to do this. Meanwhile, I'll solve your doubts. Thank you, Srimati. So I'm waiting for you. You just do it. When it is done, you can type done and then I'll proceed further. I hope you have done this. Sir, how do you do the product name column? See, this is very simple. Na? For product name, I have used Vlookup D2. D2 is the product ID. Lookup value is product ID. And the lookup array is product. So first you have to define the name range. Then column index 2 and then false. Sir, can we bring match function for the row index in HLOOKUP? See, index and match can be used for VLOOKUP as well as HLOOKUP as a replacement of VLOOKUP as well as HLOOKUP. You can do that. Sir, when I am double clicking, it is not copying to all cells. Arva, then you can do one thing, you can drag it down. If drag down also doesn't work, then you can select all those cells and use Control D formula. Kansik is asking, sir, is there any shortcut by which we can make the content written in small alphabet convert to capital alphabet? See, that is simple upper, lower and proper function. My God, now you are asking a different thing. Now you are dragging me to a different concept. Don't do that. Just use upper and this package snacks. See, this is converted into upper. And if you do it lower, see, you guys need to maintain a discipline that asks topic related doubt. If you use lower, it will become lower. And if you use proper, and I think I have already taught this to you. First, you are missing the session, then you are asking it at a irrelevant point of time. Kansik Sati, please don't do it, beta. Anonymous, I cannot solve your this doubt. VLOOKUP formula is showing me name error. So you must have entered something wrong. That is why it is showing you name error. See, it's very simple. In region VLOOKUP, what did you do? Simply $C2. Okay, my dear, you just do one thing. I'll copy and paste the formula for you. You copy and paste it into your Excel sheet. Probably then it will work. Sir, here location is in third column. Oh my God, location, not this third column. Gautam is asking, okay, first let me paste the formula here. For those who are not able to use the VLOOKUP for region, they can simply copy and paste this formula. And still, if you are not able to do it, then once the session is over, do it with a cool mind and take your time, and then probably you will be able to do it. Because I cannot look into your computer that what exactly are you doing. So I cannot find that what have you done wrong. Okay, Gautam is saying, sir, here location is in third column and you said it should be in first column. I'm not saying that the lookup value should be in first column. I am saying lookup value should be in first column of the table array. Look at this table array in location sheet. Here the location ID in this table array, the location ID is in first column. So the table array in which you are using the lookup function, in that table array, the first column should contain the lookup value. Okay. And similarly here in the product table array, product ID is in first column of this table. Whether it is first column or fifth column, that hardly matters. This is, we are taking a reference of the lookup value, that is what is the value to look up. For that there is no boundation of column. but in the table array, it should be in the first column. Okay. If somebody is not able to do this, they can do it later. We have used Vlookup. Now we have got a very good big table here, and we want to do the pivot. We want to convert it into a pivot table. Just have a look at it. You have the transaction ID from 1 to 1500. You have a transaction date from 1st April 2017 to 31st March 2020. At which location the goods was sold, what product exactly you sold, what quantity did you sell, what rate did you, what is the selling rate. If I insert here one column, I can write the amount of sales also. How to insert the column? That's very simple. How to insert the column? Suppose I click the pointer here and I say Control Shift equal to, and then I say entire column. And here I can write sales amount also. Sales amount will be sales quantity into sales rate. And then I double click it, copy it down. Okay. So sales quantity, selling price, sales amount, region, state, product name, subcategory of the product, category of the product, each single detail we have. We want to do analysis of this giant data of 7,500 cells in various manners, so we can convert it into a pivot table. So how do I do that? Very simple. First of all, you select this entire table. So Control Shift, put your cursor in cell A1, active cell should be A1. And then Control Shift right arrow key will select A12. And Control Shift down arrow key will select up to 1501 cell. So this entire region is selected. Okay. Now I go to Insert tab. I go to Insert tab, and the very first icon is Pivot Table. I click on Pivot Table. First I selected the whole range of data. Then I go to Insert tab, and then I say Pivot Table. So this dialog box, floating dialog box appears. Choose the data that you want to analyze. So I want to analyze from cell number A1 to cell number L1501 that has already been selected. Then choose where you want the pivot table report to be placed. Suppose I want report to be placed in a new worksheet. If I put it here, it will become hodgepodge. So okay, I'll put it in a new worksheet. So I am doing nothing. Everything is correctly selected. I'll simply say OK. And once I press OK, a new sheet named as Sheet 1 is opened over here. And now you can see that here I have one pivot table, blank pivot table. Currently, this is the blank pivot table. To build a report, choose fields from pivot table field list. Okay, let me do one thing. I will just zoom it further. And let me move it. Okay, here. Now this is proper. Okay, so look here. Now let's first of all study that the title return is pivot table fields. The number of columns you are having in your data table are the pivot table field. Transaction ID was your first column. Transaction date was your second column. Location, product ID, quantity, rate, sales, region, state, product name, subcategory, and category. What does it mean? All the columns in your data table are here named as the pivot table fields. Now, these fields, so how many fields are there? See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 fields are there, and I can choose one or more fields and put it in one of the 4 boxes here. Drag the field between areas below. I can put the field in the filter box, or I can drag the field in the column box, or I can drag the field in the row box, or I can drag any field in value box. There are 4 boxes: filter, column, row, and value. And I can drag one of these fields in one of these boxes. So let's do one thing. Suppose I want to make a table where I want to have region-wise sales analysis. So here I select region. Look here, I have highlighted region. And I'll drag and drop it in rows. Region, and I drag and drop it in rows. As soon as I drop it in rows, you can see here that region is written in this row boxes, and as well as now the pivot table is not blank. It is showing you region: central, east, north, south, west. No, sir, I'm not getting it. Can you repeat it again? Yes, sure. So again, it's a blank pivot table. All these 4 boxes are also blank. I come to the pivot table fields. I click on regions, and then I drag and drop this region into rows box here at this place here exactly. See. So now I want to have sales analysis by regions, and I want to know the sales amount. So now next thing is sales. Look here, I'm here. Sales. I'll drag and drop sales in values. Let's drop it in values. Let's drag and drop sales in values. As soon as I drag and drop it in values, a management information system, a report is ready. See how quick it works. My total sales is 17 lakh 10,788 rupees, and with the sales in central region, eastern region, northern region. Oh, sorry, I clicked it. That was a mistake. Just a minute. Northern region, southern region, and western region. So as quick as this, my report is ready. Otherwise, putting a filter, making a total is quite a cumbersome job. You can quickly make this report. Sir, I want to have more breakup. Even within the region, I want to have the state-wise data also. Okay, so you do one thing. You drag and drop state below region in rows box. You drag and drop sales below, not sales, I'm sorry. You drag and drop state. Where is state? Yes, state. You drag and drop state here. And see, now you have extended pivot table. Your total sales is still 17 lakh. Your central region sales is still 2,57,487. But you have a breakup now that this 2,57,000 is divided into Chhattisgarh 1,50,000 and Madhya Pradesh 1,06,000. And you can see here this minus sign, that is contraction. If I click on this minus sign, This details of the state will go away. Click this details. North, Haryana and Uttar Pradesh. Go away. Go away. Go away. So now this has become again just the regional sales analysis with plus buttons. So I'm not interested in all the states, especially in south part of India. I want to see state-wise sales report. So I'll click here on the plus sign and it will be expanded. So my highest selling region is North region. So let's do North analysis. I click on North and total sales is 17 lakh, out of which North is selling 42 lakhs. And out of which Haryana is 1,53,000 and Uttar Pradesh is 2,75,000. Okay, I'll again click this minus sign. So okay, this region wise sales is fantastic. But you know, in each region, I want to check what is the amount of sales of each product category. So now I'll drag and drop category. Look here, this is category, this is this one. Drag and drop category into columns. As soon as I drop it in columns, see, one new report is ready as quick as this. So in Central India region, see, my total sales is still 17,10,000. You know, I can do the formatting thing also. I can select all this, go to, I can select all this and do Control+1 number format with 1000 separator. Simply Control+1 works here also. So my grand total of sales is 17,10,000, out of which in Central India my sales is 2,57,000. In Central India, the breakup of this 2,57,000 is like this. Basic products which I sell are worth 1,21,000. Health supplements 83,000. Packaged snacks 9,992 and ready to eat items 42,270 rupees. See, just by drag and drop, a quick, super quick analysis is available over here. Now suppose I don't want to have region, I just want to have states. I don't want to have regions, I just want to have states. Regional breakup I don't want. So I'll click here on region, here in the row box. I click here on region and I'll drag it outside the box. This region I'll drag outside the box like this, you know, here, and it will go away. Now I don't have regional breakup, I just have breakup state-wise. It is so quick and it is so powerful. Pivot table is such a powerful, super powerful tool of Microsoft Excel. See, now this is the analysis. Okay, sir, got your point. Sir, actually, I don't want states in the row and category in the column. I want category in the row and state in the column. Okay, you just drag and drop category in the row and drag and drop state in the column. See, this will look like this. No, sir, I just want to have a single column of amount and I want to see that in which state how much product is sold. So state I'll drag and drop again in the row. So first state and then category. Everything in row, nothing in column. So you can see there is just one column for amount. Because I don't put column breakup, I just put row breakup. Chhattisgarh basic, health supplement, packaged snack and ready to eat. No, sir. I don't want it like this. I want to have the product category and inside the product category, I want to have the state-wise breakup. So simply drag this state and put it down and release the button. So it will happen reverse. Basic product Chhattisgarh, Gujarat, Haryana, health supplement also you can see it like this. And subtotals are also there. Many, no sir. Just state wise, nothing else I want. Okay, you drag the category out. So only the state wise sales breakup is there. Sir, I don't want sales amount actually. Along with sales amount, I want sales quantity also. Okay, so you drag and drop quantity in the values box. So besides sum of sales, you have sum of quantities also. You drag and drop quantity, and now you have this new report. Very powerful tool. You can customize reports the way you want it. It is working on 7,500 cells in fraction of second. Probably some of you might not have got it. So let me check it. Exams. Sorry, buddy, I don't know. Okay. Please give the link of the state. Oh my God. Devajyoti, I will do it once I solve it out. Then I'll give you. You want me to give the link of this state? It means this one. Oh my God. If you have done it for region, you know, you can use the exactly same formula, but instead of column index number 1, instead of column index number 3, if you do it column index number 2, the region will become state. Okay. जी सर, आज की शीट गूगल ग्रुप में शेयर कर दूंगा, बिल्कुल करूंगा. Can you teach us many more powerful tool like pivot table? Yeah, we'll try. Awesome teaching. Thank you. Can we do pivot table for few values? Again, you can use it now. Don't select the, if you don't want, this is the 3 years data. 3 years data means 2017, 18 and 19 data it is. If you want to do the analysis only for 2017, you can apply a filter and choose only 2017 data. I will tell you that. Okay, let me tell you that. So I don't want this 1500 row data. I just want it for 2017. Now you can see here a filter is there. So you just go to the transaction date and drag and drop transaction date in filter. Once you drag and drop transaction date in filter, you can choose now what to do. Oh, I'm sorry. Double click on wait a minute. And in fact, either you can put a filter over here, or the other way is you can use a slicer. So currently, you can choose it. You can use this filter, but let me tell you one more powerful way of doing this. And the more powerful way of doing this is, when you click inside, as soon as you click outside the pivot table, everything will go away. Once you click anywhere inside the pivot table, this pivot table field will appear, as well as 2 extra tabs of analyze and design will also appear. So let's talk about the analyze field. In analyze field, you can insert slicer. In analyze field, you can insert slicer. So I want to have a date slicer, transaction date slicer. Okay. And now I can choose that which date or dates do I want. See, I can choose one or more dates. Like only first, I want to do analysis only for 1st April. I can do it. I can do analysis for 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th April. I can do that also. So that slicer gives you the facility that you can choose even the part of the data also. Or one more way of doing it is you select less amount of data and your analysis will be on less amount of data. Chand is asking for pivot table. Sir, pivot table is the best thing till now. Oh yes, it is. Can you repeat the watch window? No, I cannot. So can you use filter and sorting on pivot table? Yes. If you want to sort the data, like you want to sort the data, sum of sales data in descending order. So click anywhere in this column, click anywhere in this column, and then go to the data tab. In data tab, you will have two options, A to Z and Z to A. Suppose you want ascending sorting, A to Z. So click on A to Z, smallest to biggest. And now you can see that the lowest sales is in Madhya Pradesh and highest is in Uttar Pradesh. No, sir, I want to do the sorting in quantity. So click anywhere in quantity and do suppose Z2 analysis. Highest quantity is in UP and lowest quantity is in MP. Sir, actually, I want to do sorting in state name. You can apply A to Z. C for Chhattisgarh, G for Gujarat, and U for Uttar Pradesh is at the end. You know, in fact, for date also, let me check whether this date is entered in the date format or not. Oh, yes, it is in date format. Okay, let me check other doubts and then I'll come back here. Sir, what do we do of report filter? I'll tell you. Doing ourselves along with your teaching is becoming very easy to understand. Yes, I agree. सर कोई random example से एक बार short में pivot table बताओ ना. Wrong question, my dear. You need tons of data to understand pivot table. So random example cannot be created. If I start creating a random example, it will take 10 hours to create the data. Bad question. Number one, you are anonymous. Number two, you are asking bad question. Please refrain from doing this. So please repeat pivot table quickly or in short because of some error. Okay. After 25th February, no, there is no lecture. Okay. All right. Let's do more analysis on this pivot table. You know, in this pivot table field, okay, let's remove this sum of quantity. I simply drag it outside and it goes away. Sum of sales. I click on sum of sales and then it says value field setting. You know what I can do is I click on this sum of sales and it gives me move to report, move to row, move to column. I don't want to do that. Value field setting. After clicking on sum of sales under the value box, in value box I have sum of sales. I click on it, then I click on value field setting. In value field setting, I have many options now. Currently its name is sum of sales. You can have any other name also. You know, the field was sales and it has given a name sum of sales. I can have a different name also if I wish. But rather than having sum, I want to have average. I don't want to have sum of sales. I just want to calculate average of sales. So I click on average, then I say OK. And this is average sales. Average sales means sales amount divided by number of invoices. So one invoice is on an average for 1069 rupees in Chhattisgarh. It is like this. Instead of average, you can have count of sales also. Instead of sum of sales, you can have count of sales. So in total 1500 invoices are made across India in this 3 years time period. So out of that, in Chhattisgarh 141 invoices are made and in UP 204 invoices are made. Okay, I can have the maximum amount also. So the biggest invoice which was made in Chhattisgarh was of 6,930 rupees. And biggest invoice, single biggest invoice was for 7875 in Uttar Pradesh. Okay, so you can have sum, count, average, maximum, minimum, product. Product is not useful here. Standard deviation, variance, all these are again not useful for you. Let's click on show as value. Currently, what is clicked is summarize value by sum. Okay, sum of sales. Show value as currently it is selected at no calculation, but I can have it as a percentage of grand total also. See, I'll tell you what I'm doing. I'll repeat everything. In the values box, max of sales. No, I don't want max of sales. So in the values box, sales is there. I click on that. Then I click on value field setting. In values field setting, I go to summarize value by sum, and I say OK. So this is sum of sales. I again click on value field setting. Now I don't. Now I want to go to next step. Show value as. No calculation. No. Show value as a percentage of grand total. And then I say OK. Let's see what happens. Now, rather than having amount of sales, I have percentage of sales. Rather than having amount of sales, I have percentage of sales, and this is percentage of grand total. Let me do one thing. I put region also before state. And I can expand all these. So in the row box, I have region at number 1, and I have state at number 2. Okay, do it with me, everybody. Filter box is empty. Column box is empty. In the row box, first of all, I have region. Number 2, I have state. In value box, I have sum of sales. You can, drag and drop it below the state and above the state quickly. And now sum of sales is not in absolute number, it is in percentage of grand total. But instead of percentage of grand total, like Central India has a percentage share of 15.05%. If total sales is 100%, Central India has 15.05%. Out of 15.05%, 8.81% is contributed by Chhattisgarh and 6.24% is contributed by Madhya Pradesh. I don't want these two sales as a percentage of grand total. I want it as a percentage of Central India sales. So I again click on sum of sales, go to value field setting. In value field setting, show value as not a percentage of grand total, but a percentage of parent row total. Percentage of parent row total. Okay. Percentage of parent row total. Now, Central India has 15.05% contribution in total sales. Now, within Central India, if Central India is considered as 100%, within Central India, 58% is contributed by Chhattisgarh, 59%, and approximately 41% is contributed by Madhya Pradesh. Okay, let's make this table heavier. So let's drag and drop category in columns. Whoa, ha, huge. Now the category is in columns. Just have a panoramic view that each column has 100% total. basic 100%, health supplement 100%, packaged snacks 100%, ready to eat 100%, and then grand total is also 100%. Now this 100% has a breakup. Now I'll wait for you for next 3-4 minutes, and you also try to achieve the same thing which I have already done. I'm waiting for you for next 3-4 minutes. Okay. I hope you have done this. Let me check for your doubts and then we'll proceed. So can you make graph of pivot table? Yes, we can easily make it. Please repeat goal seek one more time. Sorry, buddy. Now you watch video for the same. Enough for today? No, it's not enough. We have time up to 9 p.m. and we will have to study up to that time. So parental total means what? Okay, so now two doubts are there. One is parental total and one is graph. Nice teaching. Thank you. So what is percentage of show in value as it is like comparing to this part has this percentage of sales? Yes. So you can have a percent of grand total. You can have a percent of column total. You can have a percentage of parental total. I'll tell you percentage thing. So Mr. Anonymous, I'm already going slow. First of all, you put your name, then I will listen to you. Even after login, you have a facility to change your name. Change your name and then I'll listen to you to go slow. Otherwise not. Look, let me tell you, what is this all percentage thing? I click on sum of sales. and I go to value field setting, show value as a percentage of no calculation. Let's check all these things one by one. No calculation if I do. If I choose no calculation, then it will show me absolute figure of sales. Region wise, state wise, and product category wise. So ready to eat items sold in Chhattisgarh during this analysis period was 23,155. And you have the row total also, as well as you have the column total also, right? Now, the next thing here is sum of sales, value field setting, show value as percentage of grand total. If I choose no calculation, I'm just getting absolute value. Percentage of grand total, then every single amount in this table is divided by the 17 lakh rupees of sales. See, my sales is 17 lakh 10,788. Now, if every single amount in this table, all the amounts in this table are divided by 17 lakh 10,788, then it is as a percentage of grand total. Like you look here, the basic item total is 54%, health equipment is 27%, packaged snacks are 3%, ready to eat are 14%, and total is 100%. Here Central India is 15 and Eastern India is 22.15 and North India is 25%, South is 18.02, West is 19.07 and total is 100. Even within this 15.05%, 8% is Chhattisgarh and 6% is Madhya Pradesh. If every single item is divided by grand total, then this is the option as a percentage of grand total. I repeat it for you. If it is no calculation, it will show you absolute amount. If it is as a percentage of grand total, then all amounts will be divided by grand total. Percentage of column total, then you can see that currently column total is not 100%. But if I choose percentage of column total, see what happens. Now the column total has become 100%. So the sales, what happened here now? I'll tell you what is happening here now. Say I again choose it as no calculation. Now what will happen? All these items will be divided by 9,31,520. All these amounts will be divided by 468,645. These amounts will be divided by 63828. These amounts will be divided by 246,800. These amounts will be divided by 17,10,788. So that is percentage of column total. Percentage of column total. See, there must be percentage of row total also. So what will happen? Let's first see. Let's control that. In percentage of row total, you know what will happen? These amounts will be divided by 2,57,487. These amounts will be divided by 3,78,930 and so on. Sum of sales, value field setting, show value as percentage of row total. Okay. So now every single row, each single row has a total of 100%. So this is on you that what kind of analysis do you want to have. Again, let's see what other options we have. Percentage of parent row total. What is parent row total? Look here, like Central India, wait a minute. Whatever data is there in Central India is the parent row. So Chhattisgarh is not a parent row. For Chhattisgarh, parent row is Central India. For Madhya Pradesh, parent row is Central India. But for Jharkhand, parent row is, just a minute. But for Jharkhand, parent row is East India. For Karnataka, parent row is South India. So I click anywhere in the pivot table, sum of sales, value field setting, show value as a percentage of parent row total. And now you can see that the proportion of Central India in total sales is 15%. But breakup of that 15% is 58% Chhattisgarh, 41% Madhya Pradesh. In health supplement, India has a proportion of 17.85, but within Central India, 59% is Chhattisgarh and 40% is Madhya Pradesh. One last option, let's explore. Percentage of. Now, this gives you an option that percentage of what do you want to see? Percentage of state. So in that case, this is the state option. Percentage of region. Whatever you can have percentage of anything. So let's have percentage of region sale. So Central India region will take as our base number. And I say percentage of central region. Okay. Now why this NA is there? Because it is more than, it will become more than 100%. So let me just do one thing, remove state. I just want it as a, I'm sorry, region. I don't want, so I have removed states. Now everything is in as a percentage of Central India region. So if Central India is the ideal region, is our base region, then we'll say Central India is at 100%. So Eastern India in basic item has done 170% sales. So Eastern India has performed better than sales, better than Central India in all the 4 product categories. North has also done better. Only in South, the health equipment supplement sale and ready to eat sale is 82% and 83% of the sales of Central India. So this is a complete analysis of value field setting. Number formatting, you can choose, accounting, currency, general, whatever you want, you can choose. Okay, now I'll show you something interesting. Let's do something. Oh, somebody was asking me about graph. Yes, sure. Let me show you the graph. In sum of sales value, I'll show value as a percentage of no calculation. So now I have this sales data region wise, and I remove the category also. So this is my basic pivot table. And now I want to insert the pivot chart. So I have this Analyze tab and Design tab. Let's see, does it offer something to me? Analyze tab. Analyze tab is offering me pivot chart. In fact, I think Insert tab will also offer me the same thing, pivot chart. So either from Insert tab or from Analyze tab, I can insert a pivot chart. Now again, same thing will happen. It will ask me, would you like to insert a column chart? I'll say, okay, yes, insert a column chart. And look here. Now I have the column chart at central, east, south, north, south, west. My total sales, you can see that north is the best. and then east is there, then west is there, then south is there, then central is there. Okay, let's delete this one and let's introduce category also in columns. Now this has become a very complicated data, huge data this is. Now let's say analyze pivot chart, and I say okay. So now I have clustered column chart. In Central India region, I have these 4 products. And the legends are also there. Basic, healthy supplement, packaged snacks, ready to eat snacks. And you know, as soon as I remove the category from here, suppose I remove category. So the chart will also be changed automatically. That is the beautiful thing. Suppose I put state also here below the region. So now I have this Central India, Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh, Eastern India, Jharkhand, Odisha. I remove this state again and I put this category, product category in the column. So again I have this. I can remove this again. In sum of sales, if I say I just want a percentage of grand total, the graph will actually remain same. I can again go to no calculations, and this is. Sir, I don't want this region. Along with region, I want product subcategory. Now this is gonna be very complicated. See, there are many subcategories, you know, chips, flour, milk powder, noodles, pasta, salt, soup. Many subcategories are there. So if you take many subcategories in your chart, the chart will become complicated like this. This is the Central India chart. This is the Eastern India. This is the Northern. This is Southern, and this is Western. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 subcategories are there. If you want to interchange this subcategory and region, so like biscuits for all 5 regions, chips for all 5 regions. So you can see that the highest sale is of the flour, and the second highest is of the milk powder, then noodle, then pasta is the third highest. See, it's a miracle, huh? You just drag and drop things over here and there, and this miracle will keep happening. It will switch from here to there to there to here, and not only table will change, but also the pivot chart will change. Let me check it for, I'll remove this subcategory and I'll put region here. And let me check it for transaction date. In dates here, I can have the filter. I click on the date and then I can filter it. So I can put date filter and I can say, I can choose any year over here. Date filter, which is all dates in the period, custom filter. Let me put filter in date. See, I have searched for 2017 and now it is showing me data for 2017 only. Look, let me delete this graph and transaction date. I go to this and then I search for 2017. Add current selection to filter. No, it's not working this way. I'll tell you about date. But first you try about pivot charts. We can have a pie diagram also. Like in pivot chart, you know what's happening. You go to analyze and you go to pivot chart and it is giving you column chart. Why column chart? We can have a pie chart also. You click on the pie chart and you can have a preview and say okay. So you can have pie chart also through pivot chart. See, in normal chart, you know, you'll have to change the data. But here you can choose whatever you want to have. Suppose you want to have a category in filter. In filter, you put the category, and in category, now you can select multiple items. Like I just want to have ready to eat items. And I say OK. So now this data is just for ready to eat items. Look, what I did is, let's use filters now. So this is region wise sales. I choose category and put category in filter. Put category in filter. And here I can choose. If I want to choose multiple item, I'll take this. If I just want to choose any one item, so I'll untick this and I'll say only show me basic items. So this is basic items only. Rather than putting it in a filter, you can have it in the slicer also. So in slicer, you can have category. Now, what is the beauty of slicer? You choose just one item. Look. I will insert a graph also for you. Let me insert analyze, pivot chart, just column chart, and okay, column chart is good enough. Let me reduce the size of this chart. This is your column chart. Okay. And currently only basic category sales is there, which is 9,31,000. But I can choose only health supplement. So graph will automatically change. This is for basic. This is for health equipment. See, the data and graph both are changing because this is for packaged snacks. This is for ready to eat. So I want to select more than one item. Then first of all, you tick here and now you can multi-select ready to eat and packaged. Together will look like this, and basic and health equipment together will look like this. So now you also do this experiment. First of all, you go to analyze tab, put a slicer and use that slicer and insert the column chart also. I'm giving you 5-7 minutes time. You do it properly. Then I'll get back to you. Just take your time and do all the analysis which I have done for you. Okay, let me check. What have you done so far? What is the use of pivot table? Beautiful question, isn't it? To generate reports that can be used by management, to analyze past performance, and to plan future accordingly. Please refer any good Excel book. See, there are many books available in the market, but rather than using books, you can, just use the help function of Excel. See, here if you want to do something, just type F1. And when you type F1, the help window will open. And here you can type pivot table. And Excel itself will offer you a lot of help. So that is the best way to learn rather than a book. In my system, it has no option for percentage of parental row. What can I do? You need to upgrade to the newest version of Excel. So pivot table is disappeared. What to do? Okay, you got to say this table is disappeared. If this field is disappeared, it is very simple to click anywhere in the table and the field will appear. If the table itself, you want to say this table itself disappeared, looks like you have wrongly deleted it, then you need to insert it again. How to insert it was very simple. You select this whole data and then you go to insert and then pivot table and then say OK and it will be inserted. Right? So pivot table have many options to use and very useful to work on large data. Yes, if the data is large, huge, then you see the beauty of pivot table. For a small data set, you can't. Parental total means what? Thank you, sir. It means you got the answer now. Please give a break for 5 minutes. So last 3-4 minutes were kind of break itself. What is running total and index? It is showing in show value as option. K, your question is not clear to me. Running total in and index. Where is and index? Means what exactly are you asking? So is it in the analyze tab and index? Where is it exactly? So you please ask your doubt clearly. So percentage of grand total of category on the grand total. Yeah. So what to when pivot table is disappeared, that I have already told you. So product name, subcategory, category I want. So like you have put a slicer for category, you can have a slicer for subcategory also. You delete this slicer by hitting the delete button. And you can do one thing now, that you go to analyze and insert slicer and insert slicer for product name. Suppose product name, you insert a slicer. So many product names are there. You can have you can select say only for Chatpada chips. So click on Chatpada chips. Sorry, I'll have to just reverse it. Click on Chatpada chips and now you have the data only for Chatpada chips. Like this. And in fact, the graph also. Nice to meet you, sir. Pleasure is mine also. Exam, I don't have any idea about it. Scatter chart. Look, scatter chart is not really useful for this. because scatter chart should be used if there is a cause and effect relationship. Suppose I put central, eastern, northern and southern on x-axis and then I put category on y-axis, it's not going to help me. So first you should have a data which is like x is y is dependent on x, then you should make scatter chart. Otherwise scatter chart is not useful. So there is no tab. Look, analyze tab will appear only when you click inside the pivot table. As soon as you click inside the pivot table, then you will find the analyze table, analyze tab. If you click outside the pivot table, analyze tab will go away. Can you share today's Excel file? Yes, I will put it on Google group. No, still field is not appearing even though I click on table. Okay, so sometimes, okay, I got your point. If this field, I'm sorry, just a minute. Suppose this field disappears, then there is one way to do this. You just go to the analyze table and here the field list is there. Look, what is happening? Even if I click inside the pivot table, I cannot see field. So you go to analyze table and in the analyze table, you will find your field list, plus minus button and field headers. So I click on field list and the field list will appear. Sir, how will we get the category box? Okay, this is not category box, this is the slicer. So let me delete this slicer first of all. And suppose you want to insert a new slicer, so you go to the analyze tab, here insert slicer, and suppose you click on the category and then you say OK. So once you say OK, this slicer will appear. If you just want to choose one of these, click on that item. Ready to eat, I click, all other items will disappear. If you want to select health supplement, only this will appear. If you want to select more than one, then just look here. Here you will find some ticks, multi-select. Click on this and now you will be able to select more than one category. I want to clear this filter, that is I want to select 100% of items. So look here, clear filter option is there. Sir, I want to delete this slicer at all. So click on the slicer, it will be selected and then you hit the delete button. So slicer will actually go away. Just like slicer, you can have the timeline also. So timeline will look like this. Okay. This is how the timeline will look like. Let me put it somewhere. I don't have a lot of space here. Just a minute. And this field, let's make it disappear. Wait a minute. Look here. This is the timeline. Sir, how come this timeline? Click anywhere in the pivot table. Go to Analyze tab. Here you will get Insert Timeline option. Then you will get Transaction Date. Click on Transaction Date and say OK. So this type of timeline will appear. Now this timeline is a long timeline. Let me tell you. And this is running right from January 2017 to December 2020. So suppose I want to select, I want to select from May 2017, I'll select this only. This is only May 2017, only 2017 May. I click on this, so this is only June. If I extend this, this will become April, May, June 2017. No, sir, let's do analysis of latest data, that is December. 2020. So this is 2020 December only. Oh, so November, December, October, September, August, July, we don't have any data. June, no, May, April, March. Okay, so we have data up to March 2020 only. So click on March 2020 and you can drag it to February and January also. So this is the last quarter of financial year 2020, and time slicer you can use like this. Let me select the next one. Practice on Excel more helpful to get command on it instead of reading a book. Yes, that's right. Sir, analyze tab is not in my laptop. I have answered this. So product name, subcategory, category I want. I have answered this. When will Word and PPT start? In the next session. Sir, भूख लग गई है चटपटा चिप्स सुन के. Sir, I'm not able to add slicer in my chart. Please help. Rohit, probably now you are able to add it. Okay. And still, if you're not able to add it, post your doubt again. Sir, can we see coding behind the pivot table? No, you cannot actually. Sir, how to show sum of sales and region option? See, this is sum of sales and region will appear automatically because you have selected region. So now here you can, like all these regions are there. You can put a filter on region also. You can put a filter on region and you can select only the central region. Only the central region, and that too for this quarter. So this region is there because in your pivot table, you have put region in row and you have put sum of sales in values. That's why it is appearing. Very simple. How can I join the Google group? So anybody please post the Google group link. This guy is not able to join in even after 7 sessions. Sir, I mean in value field, then in show value, as there is an option in value field, then in show value. Okay, in value field, where is show value? This is the value field. Okay, probably you're asking here. So sales, probably you're asking about sales. No, I don't find any running total thing. This is the value field and I have, probably you're talking here. I'm not really sure that what exactly are you asking. Please be clear. So Google group link is posted in your chat box. All right, guys. So now let's quickly do 2-3 more things and then let's remove this slicer and delete this slicer. In fact, let's see what other type of analysis is possible in this pivot table thing. I go to analyze pivot table. Look, like below the region, if okay, let's remove sum of sales and let's delete this graph also. If I put something else like category, like category in values, if I put, see what is happening now. Now in the values field, I don't put a number like rate or quantity or amount. I don't put. I put count of category. As soon as I put category inside the value, see, category is a text. this category, that category, supplement, etc. So it will start counting the category. Like in central region, price count of sales is 241. Total 241 invoices are made in central region. Say in under count of category, I put subcategory. Or let's say I put here something else. Let's put transaction date. So if you put such things in the value column will simply make a count of that rather than showing the sum of those things. Okay, let's come here again to the this field, and I'll put state below the region. As soon as I put states below the region, I start seeing this plus minus button. And I don't want to see this minus button. I just want, I don't want to see minus button. What does it mean? I don't want to minimize this field. I always want to keep it expanded. So in that case, in the Analyze tab, you will find here plus oblique minus button. So if I unselect this plus minus button will go away, and I'll simply have this subcategories, and I won't have the choice to minimize this. Okay, and I'll put it again and it will show me. If I click on field list, then it is unselected and this field floating menu goes away. If I again click this, it is selected and the pivot table field is shown here. I can click here in pivot table field and I can move or resize it. If I move it to the corner, it will be automatically fixed to the right hand side of my worksheet. Okay, let's check. See, you have the option to clear all. Let's see what happens if I do clear all. Entire pivot table will go away. Then change the data source. If I click on this, then again I have the choice to select the data. So I'll just go here and I will select data up to row number 200 only, not the 1500. And see, accordingly, my pivot table total will change. Instead of 17 lakh, now I have total of 2,52,000 because now I'm taking first 200 rows only and not the entire data set. I can again go here and I can select this whole data once again and I can say OK. And once I say OK, the total is again 17 lakh. Refresh. See, if I convert this sales into a table, try to recall that we can convert a simple data set into a table. Select anywhere and just press Ctrl T, and when you press Ctrl T, then this data will actually become a table, right? And if you enter, one more data here, like 1501 invoice number, and date is 31st of March 2000. And so on. So when I do this now, when I make this as a table and I insert more data over here, what will happen? That my table is updated. So I can click on refresh, and even if 1000 more rows are added, it will be added to the data and refreshed, and all the calculation will change accordingly. I come to design. Now design is about how would you like to see your pivot table. Like here I can select the green color theme or black and white or the blue one or the orange one or this one, and I can choose some dark themes also like this one. And then my pivot table will look like this, something like this. So in design, it's about how does it look like. Then subtotals, do not show subtotals. If I click this, then subtotals will go away. Central region subtotal, eastern region subtotal, this will go away. Show all subtotals at the bottom of the group, then yes, it will, instead of showing the total at the top, it is showing the total at the bottom. Show all subtotal at the top of the group, so it will show at the top of the group. Grand total, off for rows and column, on for rows and columns. So let's say on for rows and columns, so it will be on. And you can explore more things over here. So right, you try to practice it. If there are any doubts, you can ask those doubts in the next session. Next session, we can learn something about Microsoft Word. And in the next session thereafter, we can learn about Microsoft PowerPoint. And in the last session, we can have a quick revision of all the concepts which we have studied. Thank you, Karthik. Rajesh is asking, please stop today. Yes, Rajesh, the time is almost over. So now we can stop it today. I can understand you must be tired now. So we can continue in the next session. All right. Thank you. Bye-bye. See you again in the next session.